They call it the Big House for a reason, as over 100,000 fans pack in to watch the number 13 Michigan Wolverines take on the Toledo Rockets. And James, adding to the storyline even more, Tanner Jones makes his return to Michigan.
Yeah, and Tanner Jones was a huge impact player here in Michigan last year. Now he's on the opposite sideline. He had a great game last week. Let's see if he can replicate it again in his former home stadium.
And the MAC back in action tonight as they look to knock off another power team once again. Michigan will take the opening kickoff, and it does look like they are going to bring it out to about the 30-yard line, so a great start for the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah, you couldn't really ask for much better after the kickoff, bringing it out to the 30. Honestly, Michigan is going to have to find a way to get their running game more involved. Last week, they were held to only 68 yards on the ground, so look for them to turn that around this week.
Clayton Denny will take the first snap there. He is not going to get the complete pass. Nice defense there by Toledo as they look to make a statement here tonight.
Yeah, Zaire Wallace had a great play on that last one, being able to break that pass up.
Stepping back once again, Clayton Denny going to take off this time. He gets about 5 yards, make it 6, as they look to make it a third manageable.
Yeah, Denny did a good job on that last play. He felt the pressure in his face, and he was able to pick up some positive yardage to make this, like you said, a more manageable third down situation.
So Michigan sticking in the shotgun here on this 3rd and 4. Denny will take the snap and drop back. They are going to get the completion. Tyler Vermillion will get the first down catch.
Yeah, it was a really good run route by Vermillion and a very smart completion by Denny. He recognized his own coverage, was able to exploit the soft spot for the first down on that last one.
So 3 pass plays make it 4 as they're going to find the tight end Hunter Darian over the middle. That is a running back, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be one of their backup running backs getting involved in the passing game here early. Michigan coming out very pass happy so far.
Dropping back once again here tonight. And Denny almost had the interception there as Toledo getting their defense going. 3rd and 6 now for Michigan near the midfield line.
I don't necessarily hate that throw. The throw was on target. It's just up to your receiver to haul that one in and complete the process of a catch.
Denny's going to take off once again, slides. He's going to be about 3 yards short there to bring up 4th down. And a nice opening stop there by the Toledo defense.
Yeah, J.W. Budge read that perfectly. He saw that Denny was taking off and was able to make the stop before allowing that first down.
So the punt goes out of bounds, no return for Toledo. They will take over. Now as Tanner Jones, with his return to Ann Arbor, looking to make a statement and get Toledo a win here tonight, as they will come out in the pistol set with 2 tight ends and 2 receivers, set 1 tight end in motion. Jones will run the read option to start here tonight, and he's going to break a tackle, but he will pick up 2 yards on the carry.
Yeah, and he kind of hurt himself a little bit on that run, cutting it back towards the inside. I felt had he stayed outside, he had more of a running lane there, but he still picks up positive yards, which is a great thing on the first play of the game.
The shotgun will go this time. Finds the big man over the middle, Dallas Gregory. He had a great rushing game last week.
Yeah, and you can see that he's already getting involved in the passing game. And like you said, his legs are a deadly weapon as well, putting up 123 yards on the ground last week in the loss to Clemson.
Hand off this time to, I believe it is Gregory. Yes, it is 5 yards for him that time. And they are getting some tempo going for Toledo.
Yeah, it's a good job of Toledo picking up that quick first down, starting to get a rhythm underneath of him, just maybe shake out some of the nerves of being here in this big-time stadium against a team like Michigan.
One man who should know this stadium the most, Tanner Jones, takes the snap, and it's going to be a loss of 3 for Dallas Gregory.
Yeah, that was just a good job by the Michigan defensive line. They didn't really give Toledo anything to work with here. Had the quarterback kept it, he'd have been popped for a 4-yard loss. Instead, he opted to take a 3-yard loss instead and save that extra yard.
2nd and 13, they will come out in the shotgun look once again. Tanner Jones drops back, makes the check down to Adam Fuller getting his name called here tonight, the backup running back.
Yeah, it's a good job. Toledo is going to get their running backs involved in the passing game. That's just who they are, and that's what their identity is on offense.
So big 3rd and 9. They are going to run the screen play. And it's going to be Adam Fuller with the 3-yard reception. Brings up 4th and 6. And they had it going for a little bit, but now they're going to punt it away back to Michigan.
Yeah, and that screen play is going to be a tough call against man coverage. Your linebackers are going to be sitting on that one, and it's an easy stop for Michigan to get the ball back.
Michigan out to about the 35, make it the 37. Memphis Lane. Pretty good return there to get the Wolverines going.
Yeah, and I think this drive is going to be huge for them. Now they have really good starting field position just inside the 40-yard line. So let's see what they can do with that here on their second drive of the game.
Clayton Denny will take the snap here as Michigan looks to find a way. They are going to take a deep shot, and they got him. Oh, and it's intercepted by Toledo. That is number 7 on Toledo. That is Jack Dawson. Great move by him to stop the Michigan drive and get Toledo going on defense.
Yeah, that's actually Dawson's second interception of the year, as he hauled one in last week as well. It's a good job of being in position and fighting for the tough contested ball there to get his offense the ball back.
This Toledo offense or defense showing up here tonight. Let's see if the offense will now answer, as Tanner Jones going to hand straight off to Dallas Gregory, who's going to get stopped in the backfield.
Yeah. Once again, Michigan's front 7 is just clogging up these running lanes and just making life very difficult for Dallas Gregory. As the game goes on, can Michigan keep that up? Because if so, Toledo's in for a rough night.
So the shotgun look here for Toledo, as Tanner Jones going to take the shot. He had a man for a second, not going to get the completion to bring up 3rd and long now. And I don't know if I would have taken a long shot there.
Yeah, traditionally on second down is kind of when you want to get a short gain, kind of set up a better 3rd down. But I like the call. He had the man open. Unfortunately, he just overthrew him there.
Tanner Jones sent a man in motion. He had a guy once again, just overthrows him and throws it out of bounds. Brings up 4th and 12 for Michigan. And unfortunately, that turnover goes nowhere for Toledo.
Yeah, and it looks like Jones was just off key with his receiver there. The receiver looked like it was a hook pattern or maybe an out route. Tanner Jones was expecting him to continue that route forward, and unfortunately they just weren't on the same page.
Michigan will get the ball back. Memphis Lane takes it out to the midfield mark. And we see right there, defense has been the key here so far here tonight. Toledo, though, with the advantage with that 1 interception.
Yeah, 1 interception is huge. Toledo, they managed to force a couple takeaways last week. They're already starting off on a good note here today.
So on the 50-yard line, Denny will take off. Breaks 1 tackle, gets about 3 on that carry to bring up 2nd and 7. And you're noticing it's either quarterback drop back and throw or quarterback take off and run.
Yeah, this offense for Michigan is going to run through Denny. Last week, he had over 249 yards in the air. He only added 10 yards on the ground, though, so this is something different we're seeing tonight, him keeping the ball and going forward with it.
So we do have a flag on the play. This will be a false start. So that'll push the Michigan offense back. Not something they wanted to get going here.
Yeah, it's not something you really honestly see in their home stadium. You know, usually their fans are quieting down when they're on offense. Maybe a little miscommunication in the huddle, or maybe a miscommunication at the check on the line of scrimmage.
So now Denny with it, 2nd and 12 is going to look to set up the screen. And they're going to get 6 yards on that reception. That was a nice little screen play there by Michigan.
Yeah, it was a good job to get back what they just lost and pick up a couple extra to make this a 3rd and manageable situation.
So 3rd and 5, Denny will take the snap, and he is going to throw it short, and that's not going to be enough. 4th and 4 for the Michigan offense.
Yeah, it was a good job by Aaron Heil to recognize the route that was being run there, being able to step up and make the hit right after the receiver caught the ball, limiting that gain and forcing the 4th down.
So looking to pin him deep now, and Michigan's going to punt it through the back of the end zone. So pretty defensive battle here so far tonight. We haven't seen really either offense get things going.
Yeah, right now both quarterbacks are still trying to find their rhythm. The running game isn't really working for either team at this moment. Sooner or later, one of these offenses is going to have to crack the defense of the opposite squad and figure something out here.
So a handoff to Dallas Gregory, who's going to run it up the middle, 7 yards on that carry. That's what this Toledo offense has got to get going. They've got to get their big man upfield.
Yeah, that was just a great job following his lead blockers. He had a nice lane. He put his head down and picked up good 7 yards right there.
So 2nd and 3 now for Toledo as they're going to run the read option once again. Hand it straight off to Dallas Gregory, who's going to get a big 12 yards there for the big man.
Yeah, just once again, it's a good job of the offensive line opening these holes for the running back and for the quarterback to find. Good job of Tanner Jones making the correct read to pick up a positive yardage.
Tanner Jones is gonna keep it this time. He is gonna pick up great yards to make it 2nd and 2 now. And this Toledo offense is now finding a way to get those 2nd and shorts, 3rd and shorts that they can convert.
Yeah, now this is the 2nd down opportunity that you'd like to see you take a shot on, because you know if you miss it, you still have a 3rd and very short opportunity.
So the fake to Dallas Gregory, and Tanner Jones is just gonna throw it straight out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't think Jones was very comfortable on that pass. Gregory could have easily had that pass. It would have been a 1st down. Jones just well overthrew him to the sideline.
So 3rd and 2 now. Tanner into the pistol set. He is going to keep it. He looked like he was going to get stopped in the backfield. He's going to pick up 12 yards, though, and get Toledo another 1st down.
Yeah, it was a great play by the defensive tackle, A.W. Thornton from Michigan. Unfortunately, Tanner Jones just beat him to the edge, was able to cut it upfield and pick up that 1st down for Toledo.
So both backs into the backfield now as Gregory and Fuller both check in. They are going to run the play action. Tanner Jones looking downfield. He is now going to take off, and he is going to get hit hard. 2-yard gain there for Tanner Jones on the run.
Yeah, this is a good job of not trying to force anything downfield. You saw Michigan do it earlier in the game, and it resulted in an interception. Toledo made a mental note of it, and they said, we're going to play smart, safe football here tonight.
Both backs in the backfield again as Jones takes a shotgun snap. He is going to find... That is Dallas Gregory out on the flat, and he's going to pick up a 1st down for a 13-yard reception as this Toledo offense is moving closer to scoring.
Yeah, and that's the 2nd time Gregory's been found in the passing game. He's already got 20 yards through the air, and he's proven to be a very versatile weapon in this Toledo offense.
Off the Fuller as he goes up the middle, he's going to get stopped after a 4-yard gain. And looking at these backs, you have one that's 6 foot, 230 pounds, another one who's 5'10", 185, a little bit quicker. It's like lightning and thunder out there.
Yeah, it's a very good change of pace system that Toledo has going here.
Into the option, Jones is gonna pitch it this time to Fuller, who's gonna have the 8-yard run to make it 1st and 10 as we're now inside the red zone for Toledo.
It was a very selfless play by Jones. He knew he was gonna take the hit off that pitch. He was able to get it out there and pick up another 1st down on this drive.
Jones sends a man's in motion. He's going to hand it straight off to Greg Mills as he is going to pick up 3 yards and to make it 2nd and 7 now for Toledo. Michigan has got to buckle down on defense and stop this team.
Yeah, it was a good job of the linebacker, Jakeem Burrell, stepping up to make that tackle. You don't want to give up too much here in this situation. You want to bend, but don't break here.
So running a little bit of a read option once again. Tanner Jones going to get stopped at the line, so it makes it 3rd and long. This is something we haven't seen Toledo have to convert this drive, and we'll see what they can do here on 3rd and 8 as Jones is going to bring him out in the pistol set, does a little check down. He's going to drop back for the pass under some pressure, throws it out to the flats, gets knocked down. Wasn't the greatest call there for Toledo, and it brings up 4th and 8.
Yeah, Jones once again just wasn't feeling comfortable in the pocket. And honestly, it was a very ill-advised throw because had Jones managed to get his hands on that one, that could have easily been 6.
Ryan Dobbins will knock down the field goal to make it a 3-0 lead for Toledo. This isn't something a lot of people would have thought we would have seen here tonight, as Toledo is looking to lead going to the end of the 1st quarter.
Yeah, and it's just thanks to 2 very great defenses. Toledo just had the 1 interception, puts them in the plus category for turnovers. And it didn't result in points, but it took a drive away from Michigan and gave Toledo extra possession time here in the 1st.
And we just saw it, 35 yards for this Michigan offense. What a job this Toledo defense has done as they look to continue it and put on the pressure to Clayton Denny. But Connor Darien is going to get the handoff for the 3-yard run to make it 2nd and 7 here for Michigan.
Yeah, that's going to be Darian's first rushing attempt of the game. And we're almost at the end of the 1st quarter, so you've gone a full 1/4 of the game without really utilizing your star running back.
And they will look to the pass once again here. They're going to drop it off. That is Jackson Davenport who's going to pick up the 5 yards, making it 3rd and manageable now.
Yeah, and it was a good job by Denny going through his checks, finding the open tight end on that flat route against the zone coverage. Nobody was over there. Smart, safe throw.
1 for 3 here on 3rd downs for Michigan, as they are going to pick up this one. It's going to be a big one. Jackson Davenport with 13 yards.
Yeah, Davenport looks like he's quickly becoming Denny's favorite target on this drive. He picked up the a couple yards on the previous play. Now he picks up the first down on the last one.
And that'll bring it to the end of the first quarter. And hold on, folks. Toledo 3, Michigan nothing. We'll be right back here on PX1 Sports. Michigan now will come out with nobody in the backfield. And it's going to be a straight draw for Clayton Denny. He's going to break a couple tackles, get 3 yards there. And we are getting an update right now on the other game going on Twitch on PX1 Sports. Start of the second quarter, Notre Dame up 14-0 on NIU.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one to watch later on when we get the chance to, I feel like.
Right now it is 3-0 Toledo over Michigan. Clayton Denny gonna drop back, finds the man off in the flats. It's gonna be Memphis Lane for the 3-yard reception, his first reception of the night.
Yeah, another good job by Denny, realizing the down and distance, picking up some positive yardage to put them in a better position.
So 3rd and 3, they're gonna set up the screen to Connor Dorian, who's gonna bust a big one down to the 15-yard line.
Yeah, that is tremendous, and that is just missed tackling by Toledo that springs that for a big game. Toledo could have held this to a minimal gain. Yes, they would have given them the first down, but instead some arm tackles that Darian was able to break for the big gain there.
So after a quarter where they saw maybe 60 yards of offense, they bust off a 32-yard pass to get this offense going and put them right into the red zone. Michigan comes out 1st and 10. Denny will take the snap. Gonna look to set up the screen once again, and that one's gonna get stopped pretty quickly.
Yeah, they just ran the same exact play. Toledo saw it again, knew what was happening. They were all over that one.
So 2nd and 9 with just under 8 minutes left in the half. Michigan, Denny will take the snap, hands it straight off to Darian, who's gonna pick up a big 7 yards.
And I want to see more of that out of Michigan tonight. That's the second time they've handed it off to Darian, and he picks up a big gain on 2nd down to set up a nice 3rd down attempt for Michigan.
So 16 carries last week. He has 2 here tonight. Going to be a quick pass to the corner. It's going to be Kelton North for the 8-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, just a good job of Denny recognizing the matchups. He had one-on-one coverage to the outside. He took the shot. It was wide open for the touchdown there.
Just like that, Gordon Yelkick will get the extra point in, and it's Michigan 7, Toledo 3. And we'll see if Toledo can now respond.
Yeah, that drive, honestly, all Connor Darian. They had the big breakout screen, huge run in the red zone. Darian, that drive was so successful.
Toledo will bring it out, big broken tackle there, brings it out past the 30, almost the 35, as Elon Olip picks up a 33-yard return.
Yeah, it's going to be good starting field position for Toledo. So let's see how they capitalize on respond for Michigan touchdown.
Tanner Jones brings him out in the pistol. He's going to run the read option right away, and he's going to pick up big yards here on 1st down. A 9-yard pickup for Tanner Jones to make it 2nd and 1.
And Tanner Jones has this experience being able to respond after a quick score by the opposition. He knows what he needs to do, and that's start getting positive yardage and not falling behind him down the distance.
Tanner Jones looking to convert this 2nd and 1. He's going to run the speed option this time, and that is going to be Dallas Gregory once again for the 3-yard carry. 22 yards here tonight for Dallas. He had the big game last week.
He actually had 123 yards last week, and his body shots are going to start adding up. Sooner or later, he's going to break one out.
And they're going to hand it right off to Dallas Gregory. He's going to go right up the middle for it looks like 11 yards. It's going to be a 1st down, and he is starting to get working here as he's now got 33 yards. And we're not even close to the amount of carries he had last week.
No, he had 23 last week. He's only got 7 so far, so that rushing yardage total is going to start adding up.
Tanner Jones breaks a big one, now pitches it late. Adam Fuller not going to get back to the line, though. It'll be a 1-yard loss to make it 2nd and 11.
It was a little bit of a questionable decision to pitch that ball. I can see why he did it, but he ultimately ended up giving up yardage by pitching that ball had he held on to it instead.
They broke the tackle that would have made it a big loss. Instead, they're only going to take the 1-yard loss. Back into the pistol set they go. Tanner Jones looking to connect with one of his receivers. Instead, he will hit Dallas Gregory for the 2-yard reception. That makes it 3rd and long here. I don't know if that's the call they wanted to make.
It was setting up to be a good play, but Gregory just didn't have the spatial awareness on the sideline. He ended up accidentally stepping out of bounds a couple yards sooner than he wanted to.
So 2 for 5 on 3rd downs as Tanner Jones is going to get sacked in the backfield for a 6-yard loss. Make it 4th and 16 as this Michigan defense comes alive.
Yeah, that was just a great job by Logan Simmons and then number 95, one of the walk-ons here for Michigan, putting a tremendous amount of pressure and making Tanner Jones uncomfortable in the pocket.
So the defensive battle between these two teams continues. We'll see if Toledo can keep it up as they punt it away to Michigan. And it will be Memphis Lane back there taking another return. He's going to break a tackle, get about to the 27-yard line for Michigan.
Yeah, Memphis Lane is a very strong returner. He's going to do whatever he can to pick up those extra yardage and put Michigan in a better position here.
Clayton Denny brings them back out for this drive. He's going to find a man over the middle. Broke a tackle that started to fall backwards. I think he might have lost 2 yards on that. Makes it a 4-yard reception to bring up 2nd and 6.
Yeah, and it was just a good job of finding an open receiver. And he, like you said, he maybe should have just fallen on it and taken the 2 yards instead of falling back.
And a pass over the middle gets deflected down. And that was a throw into traffic. Kind of what you would call almost a hospital pass.
Yeah, he definitely looked like he was kind of setting his receiver up there. Defense just made a good job of making contact and forcing that incompletion.
So 3rd and 6, they will set up the screen. Breaks one tackle, breaks another, gets the 1st down. Great run there after the reception by Connor Darien.
Yeah, and Darien is just doing his thing now. And he's really living on these screens. He's producing nice chunk plays when they go into those screen plays.
Clayton Denny takes his drop back. He's got tons of pressure. He's going to get wrapped up for the sack.
Yeah, he just did not feel comfortable in that pocket. It was a great job by Mickey DePinto to force the initial pressure and then have it cleaned up afterwards when it rolled out to his side.
So defense aplenty here tonight as both teams are showing up trying to get their team the win. Clayton Denny now 2nd and 18 as his Michigan offense digs deep into the playbook. It was a 14-yard reception by Tyler Vermillion, but I wouldn't be surprised if they take another look at that. They are not going to.
Yeah, he managed to get the 1 foot in bounds. That's all you need here in college. Sets up a nice and easy 3rd and 3 opportunity.
So Clayton Denny takes the drop back. He's going to find a man over the middle. That is Tim Benjamin for the 9-yard reception to bring up a 1st down.
Yeah, with that, Benjamin matches his reception total from last week at 2. And this game's still just in its early stages as well, picking up the big 1st down on that last play.
We'll see the offensive explosion by Michigan on the yardage. 138 yards here in the 2nd quarter. They're going to find Connor Darien once again over the middle for the 13-yard reception.
Yeah, and Darien is getting his money's worth, not necessarily as a running back tonight, but as a receiver, already racking up 65 yards through the air, and is really just displaying his versatility tonight.
28 yards last week, 64 you said, I believe, this week, as Clayton Denny going to take a shot deep downfield, and it's going to be a Michigan touchdown for Tim Benjamin.
Yeah, and just a great play, great understanding of what the defense was giving him by Denny. You know, Darien has been killing them all game with these little shots. Defense creeps up. All of a sudden, it's time to take a deep shot to Tim Benjamin. One-on-one coverage. Benjamin's going to win that one 9 times out of 10.
So it took him a quarter to get things going, but now Michigan trying to get a roll going as they're going to knock down the PAT to make it 14-3. And this Toledo offense needs to get things going and get a score here.
Yeah, this, like you said, they really got to pick it up. This drive can really set momentum going forward. There's a little under 4 minutes to go in the half, so depending on how this drive plays out, it could be the last drive of the half. We want to go into halftime with momentum here.
Adam Fuller breaks a couple tackles on that kick return to bring it out to about the 28-yard line. As now Tanner Jones looks to get things going, bringing them out in the pistol set. They're going to run the triple option there. Tanner Jones, though, wrapped up in the backfield for a 1-yard loss.
Yeah, it was a good job of the cornerback, Juice Staley, recognizing the play, staying on his assignment, and not trying to play hero ball. because had he veered out to the outside to take the running back away, it would have been a big gain by Jones. Instead, he played it smart and was able to get the hit in the backfield.
Tanner Jones sent a man in motion. They're going to dump it off to Dallas Gregory, who's only going to get the 2-yard reception to bring up 3rd and 8. And they're starting to fall back into those 3rd and longs that are a little bit tougher to convert.
Yeah, they had the one good drive where everything seemed to be 2nd and short, 3rd and short, and back into that 3rd and long, and it hasn't worked out for them well tonight.
Tanner Jones under pressure, takes a shot downfield as John Hill Jordan's going to get the deflection there as he's going to stop the Toledo offense from getting the first down and brings up 4th and 8 as this Michigan offense looks to kind of put a good cushion here on Toledo.
Yeah, Michigan now has a very great opportunity as they have a chance to score here at the very end of the half and head into halftime with a 3-possession lead if they do manage to at least put up 3, or if they can put up a touchdown here, excuse me.
So we look at the offensive explosion. 56 yards in the first quarter, 127 for Michigan here in the second. As, just like you said, if they go up 21-3 at half, it could be big for Michigan as they're going to hand it straight off to Connor Darien, who's going to pick up the 2-yard run.
Yeah, and Toledo wasn't really going to fall for the draw play there. They kind of saw it coming, they sniffed it out, and held Darien to only 2 yards on that draw.
In the shotgun look, Michigan will go as Denny going to take the drop back. He's going to take off, gets wrapped up in the backfield for a sack. I believe that is Mickey DePinto's 2nd sack of the night.
Yeah, and he's doing a good job playing spy on the quarterback. He's getting upfield, but not necessarily rushing the quarterback. He's waiting till Denny rolls out to clean up the mess. And you're correct, that is his 2nd sack of the game now.
So the Toledo defense refusing to lay down to this Michigan offense. As Blake Denny will take the snap. Gonna look downfield, had a man right open, just overthrew him.
Yeah, and that was just because he had pressure in his face. Toledo was making life uncomfortable in the pocket on that one. Denny had to throw that a little earlier than he wanted and just put an extra touch on it.
Michigan now punting it away with 2 minutes left till half. It will be, I believe it's Adam Fuller back there. And he's going to pick up a 13-yard return. So this Toledo offense has got 2 minutes to try to get things going and try to get on the scoreboard. We are getting an update from the other game. Notre Dame is now up 24-0 late in the second quarter. Tanner Jones is going to read options, going to pick up 6 yards to make it 2nd and 4. And this is what we talked about earlier. Make it 2nd and manageable, 3rd and short, get the drive going.
Yeah, they're going to call a timeout to stop the clock because now they feel they have a little momentum after gaining some positive yardage on the first play.
So they will stick with the read option. Tanner Jones is going to get wrapped up in the backfield for a 3-yard loss. And they are right back to 3rd and long now as it's 3rd and 7.
Yeah, and that's Jaquem Burrell just knowing the play, realizing that Jones is going to want to do these zone read plays. He's there to clean up the mess and get the tackle for loss, setting Toledo back again into a 3rd and long.
Pistol set, they will go, sends the fullback in motion. He is now going to drop it off to the big man. Oliver Pat, actually the tight end, is going to pick up 7 yards to make it 1st down for Toledo.
Yeah, they had him in the backfield on that play. He comes out of the backfield, picks up the nice 1st down with some strong running after the catch.
So over the middle now, they will go. Trevor Parr makes his name known here with his first reception of the night as this Toledo offense, with 1.5 minutes to go, looking to get on the scoreboard again. As looking across the field, I just saw Mickey McGuire has a great game going here. 6 tackles so far. They do set up the screen. Dallas Gregory going to get stopped in the backfield.
Yeah, and another good job once again by this Michigan defense, just swarming to the football. Seems like whenever there's a pass, there's no yards after the catch. Whenever there's running backs aren't finding much space downfield because this Michigan defense is swarming and making life difficult for Toledo here tonight.
3rd and 2. We just went under 1 minute left to half. So we'll come back out in the pistol set. Running the read option. It looked like the straight handoff as Greg Miller going to pick up 2 yards to make it 4th and inches. And they are going to bring out the punt team.
Yeah, and that was Mickey McGuire once again. He's had his fingerprints all over this first half, picking up his 7th tackle to force Toledo into this punt situation here. And it looks like both teams are content with the clock running out. So we're going to see a punt with about 10 seconds left to go in the game, or in the half, excuse me.
So everyone who's looking at the sports books here tonight, Mickey McGuire, over under on 9.5 tackles. He is 3 tackles away from breaking that. That is something we have to watch throughout the rest of this game.
Yeah, he only had 7 tackles in only one half, so he's got a whole another half to do the extra 3 tackles he needs to break that mark.
So Toledo will punt it away with about 10 seconds left, as Michigan's going to have 4 seconds. You wonder if they're going to take a shot here, or are they just going to kneel the ball?
If I'm Michigan, I'm kneeling it. I'm not going to force anything stupid. Take your lead into halftime. Take what Toledo's giving you, and come back out ready to play in the second half.
Looks like they are going to hand off to Connor Dorian. He's going to get his, I believe it's his 4th rush of the day. Not going to be any gain as we head to halftime. Number 13, Michigan, up 14-3 on Toledo. And what a half of football we had here. Big defensive battle, really.
Yeah, both of these defenses really showed out in the first half. Michigan started finding some cracks there in the second quarter. They were able to put up the 14 points. But both teams really showing out on defense here tonight.
So we had the big 2 drives by Michigan to get up 14-3. We saw a little bit of action from Toledo, and since then they have gone almost ice cold, unable to really get anywhere down the field. And just like we saw there, Tanner Jones has been under pressure almost all night long.
Yeah, Toledo really has to figure something out to get Tanner Jones more comfortable and get him to where he can make the plays that we know he can make. You know, he hasn't really made those statement plays that we saw last year here tonight.
Looking at the yardage, you can see where the difference maker is. 167 yards of passing for Michigan, 45 for Toledo. But on the other hand, you see those rushing yards, and you can really tell where these offenses are tailored. You have Toledo that wants to run a lot of the read option, Michigan who wants to air it out as much as they can.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, when you look at Michigan's passing yardage, you would think a lot of their receivers are putting it up. A lot of that is coming from their running back game. Connor Darian having over 70 reception yards here so far already. So even though they're not relying on the running back in an average traditional running back sense, he's still very involved in this offense.
Yeah, Connor Darian last week, 11 receptions for 28 yards. His longest was 13. He had a 32-yarder here tonight, so great receiving night for the running back. Adam Fuller breaking some tackles. Or that was Elon Olive who's going to get the return. 38 yards there. Great setup there for Toledo as they come out for the first drive of the half.
Yeah, that was a good job by Olive, just putting the head down and hitting the holes. 1 or 2 more broken tackles, and he's taking that one for 6. Michigan just was able to drag him down at the last second.
Haven't heard a lot of Elon Olive here tonight. Tanner Jones going to drop back. He's going to find a man in the flat. Dallas Gregory for the 4-yard reception. But as soon as he caught that ball, he was lit up.
Yeah, and once again, Michigan just swarming to the ball. They're not giving up anything over the top. And all these underneath routes are being met with the defender almost instantly after making the catch.
So into the option they go. They are going to pick up the first down. Dallas Gregory with the 8-yard run.
Yeah, it's a good job of Gregory getting to the corner, picking up that first down, gets a new set of downs, and kind of resets your playbook if you're Toledo.
23 rushes, 15 passes here for Toledo tonight as they go to the pistol. Back to the read option they go. Tanner Jones with a little bit of a hole. He's going to make it a big hole. Makes it 15, 19 yards on that run. What a great run there by Tanner Jones.
Yeah, and this is what we're kind of expecting of Jones. When he doesn't really have much, he finds a way to even gain more. You know, he read the defensive end perfectly, pulled it, picked up the big game, and he even turned out an extra 4 yards fighting in the pile right there.
So at the 33-yard line here for Toledo, sends a man in motion out to the outside. Tanner Jones just going, or no, that was Adam Fuller with the 2-yard run, or negative 2-yard run. He's going to get stopped in the backfield. Michigan defense looking to bow up and stop this team, as we do have an update on the Notre Dame game. 27-0 at half. That NIU offense hasn't woken up yet. But here we have had all defense really, as into the pistol look now. Tanner Jones sends another man in motion. Dropping back for the pass under a lot of pressure. Finds Jeremy McMahon over the middle for the 6-yard reception.
Yeah, it was a good job. You were in a second and long situation. You pick up positive yardage, You put yourself in a better situation here in third down.
So 3rd and 6 now for Toledo. Down 11 here in the third quarter. Still a lot of time to play. Tanner Jones looks, he's going to drop back quick. Just overshot his man. Had the man wide open, really.
Yeah, it was a beautifully run fade route against man coverage. He was open. Jones just overthrew him on that one.
So Ryan Dobbins out now. He will knock down the field goal to make it 14-6. Chipping away a little bit on that Michigan offense, or that Michigan lead.
Yeah, the one positive you can take away here is now it's a one-possession game. You're 8 points away, so it's still a touchdown, 2-point conversion, but your outlook gained a little bit brighter with that field goal.
Memphis Lane with a 26-yard return to set up Michigan's first drive of the half. And we'll look to see if Clayton Denny can keep up what he had going in the first half.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Toledo responds and what adjustments they were able to make.
Clayton Denny finds Memphis Lane over the middle for the 10-yard reception to make it a first down. 2 receptions here tonight for Memphis Lane for 13 yards.
Yeah, just a good job, a smart run route, great pass by Denny, picks up the first down and keeps this drive moving for Michigan.
So a play action pass leads to a pass to Jackson Davenport, who's going to pick up 7 yards. And a lot of these Michigan receivers are starting to get things going. We saw Memphis Lane earlier. He has had it's only his second game, but he's having a career night. Jackson Davenport only had 46 yards last week. He is making his name known here tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty much every time we're here in Davenport, it's associated with a first down and another big gain. I don't know, he's only had 3 catches to get these yardage that he's got already.
So a straight handoff to Connor Dorian, who's going to bust a big one up the middle for 9 yards as he is trying to chip away at the yardage that he had last week and try to get a new career high.
Yeah, and this is Michigan now being able to spread their offense out. You don't know. Can they run it? Can they pass it? They can do anything on any given play here.
Then he takes the short drop back pass to Jackson Davenport for another 10-yard reception. Like you said earlier, Jackson Davenport getting about 10 yards every time he catches the ball.
Yeah, 11.3 per reception there. And another first down that Davenport's able to pick up. He's turning into a great security blanket for Clayton Denny here tonight.
So 6 minutes in the third, Davenport takes the shotgun snap, going to read the read option, cuts it up the middle. He's got a big hole. Here comes Davenport with a touchdown. All right, Denny, touchdown.
Just a great run read by Clayton Denny there. But the most important part that I saw stood out to me was the blockers he had in front of him. The whole way down the field, he had 2 men by his side, clearing the lanes and making that touchdown a walk-in for Denny.
Way down the drive, and then Clayton Denny busts a big one, and all I can think of is Davenport.
Yeah, I mean, Davenport had a great drive on the last one. He had 3 catches on that last drive alone, 3 first downs to himself. Denny just got to steal the glory at the end of the run, or at the end of the drive.
We see the yardage there now. Michigan 255 to 158, and like we said earlier, it just comes down to Toledo has not been able to sustain a lot of their drives.
Yeah, they start driving, they hit the 50-yard line, and then they just kind of fall apart from there.
And just like that, Tanner Jones on the big run takes it out to the 50-yard line on the 25-yard run.
Yeah, Jones saw what Denny did on the last run. He said, whatever you can do, I can do it just as well. He picks up 25 yards on his own accord and sets Toledo up at midfield there.
Well, 107 last week rushing for Tanner Jones. He is about or almost to that point, as I think he saw 78 yards there for Tanner Jones as he's going to run it again. Keeps the ball, breaks the tackle. He is still going past the first down marker for a 12-yard gain.
Yeah, and just again, another good job of making the smart reads. He could have pitched that one off. Instead, he chose to keep it, broke the tackle, and was able to pick up another first down on this drive.
Into the pistol, they're going to hand it straight off to Dallas Gregory this time, who's going to pick up 5 yards to make it 2nd and 5.
Yeah, just a good job of putting your head down, following your lead blockers, and picking up positive yardage. Now you're in a 2nd and 5. You have an option. You can take a shot play here, or you can set up a better third down.
Sticking with their bread and butter. They're going to run the read option. This time, though, Tanner Jones stops in the backfield for a 4-yard loss.
Yeah, Michael Ropine's going to get credit for that tackle. but ultimately this play was made by Juice Staley. He was able to get to Jones in the backfield and allow Ropine to step up and make that tackle for a loss.
So 3 for 10 on third downs is Toledo. 5 minutes left in the third. Down 21-6. They are going to look to set up the screen here to, I believe that's Dallas Gregory, who's only going to get 5 yards, makes it 4th and 4. And now, do you go for it, or do you kick the field goal? They are going to bring out the field goal team.
Yeah, at this point, it's still too early to think about going for it. You got to take the points when you can get them at this opportunity in the game.
Ryan Dobbins will take the kick, and he is going to knock it down. So it's 21-9 now for Toledo, and they've got to find a way to make these field goals into touchdowns.
Yeah, this is the third drive that they've had that's looked promising, stalled out, and only been a field goal. And that seems to be a common theme among some of the MAC teams, is when they get down into these situations, it almost seems like the offense tires out, and they have to settle for field goals.
Memphis Lane with a 27-yard return. Out comes Clayton Denny. Good drive last time. Like we said, he picked them apart through the air, and then that final dagger was on the ground.
Yeah, just a great designed run on that last one for Denny and the touchdown. See if they go back to that here on this drive.
Great handoff to Connor Darien, who's going to bust up the middle for 9 yards.
Yeah, it was a good job of just following his blockers, picking up positive yardage. These runs that were 2-yard gains earlier becoming 6, 7, 8, even 9-yard gains here later in the game.
Clayton Denny going to drop back, finds, took a shot over the middle, not going to get the completion. We do have an update on the Notre Dame NIU game, 34-0 midway through the third, as Notre Dame looking to have the second ever shutout in the CFSL.
Yeah, Notre Dame must be putting on a bit of a defensive clinic over there, trying to copy what they're seeing in this game here.
So Michigan will pick up the first down there. Clayton Denny, 20 for 26, 208 yards, 2 touchdowns. Had that early pick, but he has since shrugged it off.
Yeah, it was a good job bouncing back from that early pick.
Taking a shot down the middle of the field, Tim Benjamin with a 26-yard reception.
Yeah, and it was just a great job of Benjamin. A nice contested catch. He went up for it. He was able to high point it and pull that one down, and it picks up a huge gain for the Michigan offense.
They almost lull the corners to sleep with the short passing game, only to hit the big one over the middle, as they're now set up at the 39-yard line looking to extend this lead. Clayton Denning will take the snap, looking to find a man downfield. He is going to find Memphis Lane. Unfortunately, Memphis Lane loses 1 yard to bring up 2nd and 11.
Yeah, even though you lost a yard, I still like that play call. It was a safe throw. Denny has been on his target today pretty much the entire game, outside of the 1 interception, and he's really got that momentum. So anything you can do to increase his momentum going forward helps.
And Clayton Denning has found his momentum here after throwing that early interception. Under a lot of pressure, though, throws it out of bounds to bring up 3rd and 11. And you got to like that leadership of a quarterback to throw it out of bounds when he knows he can't get the play going.
Yeah, he held on to it a bit too long. He might have had an opportunity to tuck and run earlier in the play. He knew he was going to lose yards. Good job throwing it out of bounds.
Clayton Denny overthrows his man. He had a lot of time, really. Wasn't under a lot of pressure from Toledo. That's going to bring out the field goal team, as Gordon Yellick is going to look to knock down his first field goal attempt of the night, and he is going to miss it, and that is going to let Toledo take over here.
Yeah, in his defense, it was a pretty long field goal attempt. It was looking close to about 50 yards there, and he just pushed it a bit too far to the right.
First attempt for Toledo. They look to set up this quick screen, and Tanner Jones' stat says it all. 12 for 19 for only 60 yards. You can see where this team likes to thrive on the running game.
Yeah, their running game is going to be their staple moving forward. However, in this game, Jones has to find his arm here tonight if he wants any chance of trying to bring Toledo back into this one.
So a straight handoff to Dallas Gregory for 5 yards to bring up 3rd and manageable now for Toledo. And we're seeing a steady dose of Gregory, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, they go to him for a big play, picks up good yardage. The 2nd and 3rd down, they try passing it, and that's where their troubles are starting at.
So setting up the screen now. Tanner Jones finds, I believe that's Adam Fuller. He's going to bust a big one. Gets the first down in a 12-yard reception.
Yeah, it was just a great job by Fuller breaking out of the tackle. Michigan had him dead to rights for the stop. He broke the tackle and picked up the first down. That was just strong running.
First and 10 for Toledo. Going to run the read option. Tanner Jones takes off upfield. He is going to get pulled down after a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, and another good job by Jones making the correct reads and picking up great yardage. 2nd and 3 is a lot better than most of the situations Toledo's been in all night.
They're looking to punch in their first touchdown of the night. Tanner Jones is going to keep it. He's going to lose a yard there to bring up 3rd and 4. And really, there was nowhere to go for either the pitchman or the quarterback there on that read play.
Yeah, and that's just because mainly Mickey McGuire. Jones made the right read. He kept the ball trying to go up the middle. McGuire was able to come over and make the huge stop there.
Staying in the pistol look on 3rd and 4. Tanner Jones looks to set up a pass. He is all under pressure. He's going to get sacked.
Yeah, Michigan just did not give Jones any time to feel comfortable in the pocket. They were all over him. They brought 4 in the play. Just decimated the entire front offensive line for Toledo, which resulted in that sack.
So 4th and 7, time's starting to tick away for Toledo as we're nearing the end of the 3rd quarter with about 2 minutes left. And if this Toledo offense doesn't get going soon, they're going to watch this game slip away from them.
Yeah, but I know Toledo can trust their defense based on what they saw earlier in the game. Their defense hasn't been as great as they were in the 1st quarter, but they're hoping that they can get the stop quickly and get their offense the ball back.
A great punt by the Toledo punter, set them up inside the 20. And Kelvin Norton going to pick up the 3 yards, get things kind of going here, try to get Michigan away from that end zone. As now Clayton Denny going to set up on 2nd and 7, takes the drop back, looking under pressure, and throws it straight out of bounds.
Yeah, it was a good job of Denny. He saw the pressure coming. He didn't have anything he could do, so he just tossed it out of bounds. He avoided the sack and lived to fight another down.
3rd and 7 now for this Michigan offense. Gonna find a man over the middle. I believe that is Austin Jones with a 4-yard reception. Not gonna be enough for the first down, and this Toledo defense steps up.
Yeah, it's cornerback Blake North there on the tackle. Just great coverage. Was able to make the tackle quickly and force another point. Toledo relied on their defense. The defense paid off for them.
Now Adam Fuller brings it about to the 50-yard line on the 11-yard return. And this Toledo offense is going to try to get things going.
Yeah, this might be the best starting field position Toledo has had all night. So they need to turn this one into a trip to the end zone here.
Tanner Jones running the read option once again. What he likes to do, he's going to bust a big one. Down the field he goes to about the 21-yard line. 29-yard run by Tanner Jones.
Yeah, and if you're on the Toledo sideline, you couldn't have asked for a better play there. He was able to make the right read, take the ball, hit the outside, turn upfield for the huge gain for Toledo.
Now Tanner Jones has bested his 107 from last week. I believe I saw 127 here tonight. So great job by Tanner Jones as he's going to send the tight end in motion. Excuse me, that was a receiver that went in motion. Nobody open. He's going to throw it straight out of bounds.
Yeah, he didn't have anybody open. It was a play-action route combination. There was only 2 receivers downfield. They were both pretty covered, so it was a good job by Jones just turning around, slinging that one out of bounds.
So 2nd and 10 now for Toledo. They're going to hand off to the big man, Dallas Gregory, for the 5-yard run, as now it sets up a third manageable really here as they work their way into the red zone. And
yeah, Toledo does not feel comfortable on 3rd down at all, so 3rd and 5 is a great position to be in.
Haven't found their way into the end zone here tonight. Tanner Jones looks to change that. They are going to set up, looked like they were going to set up the screen there for a second, but Tanner Jones is going to throw it out of the back of the end zone. And I imagine we'll see Ryan Dobbins come back out, and he will, to try to make it 4 for 4 on his field goals here tonight.
Yeah, and I didn't necessarily like that pass by Tanner Jones. I understand what he was trying to do with the one-on-one coverage to the end zone. However, there were better options to go without taking a shot to the end zone. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. And Toledo once again had to settle for 3.
So despite not being able to find the end zone here tonight, Toledo down by 9 as we near the end of the 3rd quarter. they're finding a way to keep themselves in this.
Yeah, and they're mainly keeping themselves into this thanks to their defense. Their defense, the second quarter was a little shaky, but they've rebounded pretty nicely, held Michigan to a field goal earlier, had the 3-and-out on the last drive. So their defense is the ones keeping them in this game.
Clayton Denny taking the drop back over the middle. He goes. Tim Benjamin only a 1-yard reception. That pass was a little high there for Benjamin.
Yeah, that's not something you want to see, putting the ball up high and letting your receiver take a shot like that.
So at the end of the third quarter, number 13 Michigan leads this one 21-12 over Toledo. We'll be right back here on PX1 Sports. So 301 yards for Michigan here tonight, 255 for Toledo. Michigan is going to take the shotgun snap. Blake Denny looked like he had a man for a moment, but that Toledo defense stepping up.
Yeah, it's the cornerback, Jack Dawson. Tremendous coverage there, keeping stride for stride with the receiver, was able to break that one up.
Denny going to look to pick up the first down. He's got a wide open man. He just picks up the first down before he gets taken down. That is Kevin Norton.
And just a great run route against the zone coverage. Denny recognized it, hit the underneath route, and let him make the play after the catch.
Denny now looking to take the big shot down the middle. Almost throws an interception to Trent Williams.
Yeah, Williams is going to be kicking himself over that one. That would have been a huge game changer to come up with that one. But still, nonetheless, it was a great defensive stop to force the second down here.
And he takes the shotgun snap on 2nd and 10. He is going to find Memphis Lane for the 7-yard reception to make it 3rd and 3. This Michigan offense looks to keep things going.
Yeah, 3rd and 3 is a great position to be in here, especially in the fourth quarter. They don't exactly have to be playing fast and furious right now.
And runs the read option to Connor Darien, who just bulldozed his way to 5 yards. He was stopped in the backfield before he got going.
Yeah, he was. He was dead to rights in the backfield. That is some big man running, using all 220 pounds to force his way over that first down marker.
1st and 10 for Michigan as Denny going to take the pistol snap. Rolls out after the play action. Throws into coverage. Almost picked off again.
Yeah, and right now Denny is taking some risks here late in this game that if you're a coach, you want to kind of talk to him and settle him down and say, hey, we don't need this right now. Play smart, sound, safe football.
Denny going to take the snap. He's going to get 15-yard reception there to Kelvin Norton, who really, as of late, has made his name known here tonight.
Yeah, and it was a good job. A nice run, a corner route against soft zone coverage. They were playing cover 2. The safety wasn't able to rotate over in time to make the stop.
Denny starting to get this drive going for Michigan as they cross the 50-yard line. On the 1st and 10 snap, he's going to drop back under a lot of pressure. Gets the ball off just in time as it falls incomplete.
Yeah, and it's lucky for Michigan that this one was ruled incomplete and not a fumble as the arm was moving forward. Toledo was all in the backfield on that last play.
2nd and 10 for Michigan. Denny dropping back for the pass. Under a lot of pressure again. He's going to get wrapped up for the sack.
Yeah, and once again, Toledo just living in the backfield these last couple plays. It's one of the walk-ons, the defensive tackle, breaking free, coming up with the sack.
So 3rd and a mile for Michigan here now. They've got to get it out to the 28-yard line to get a first down. And you can see Denny on the other side of the 50 as he takes a snap, sets up the screen, and that one's going to get shut down immediately. Connor Darien with a 1-yard loss.
Yeah, and this was a very conservative play call by Michigan. They didn't want to take a shot on 3rd and long. They went for the screen pass. They knew they weren't going to turn it over. It just didn't result in any yards. Toledo forcing a punt here.
So 4th and 19 now for Michigan. Expect the punt. And I've got to say, if this Toledo offense gets going, it might be dangerous for this Michigan team. As like I said earlier, 9 points down. 1 touchdown makes it even closer.
Yeah, if they score a touchdown on this drive, it'll be huge for Toledo. But more importantly, with that last drive, the field goal that you made on the last drive, if you do have to settle for a field goal here, you're back within 1 score. So Toledo has to capitalize.
We do have an update on the Notre Dame game. They are up 41-0 at the start of the 4th. And looks like they're in scoring range once again, as Dallas Gregory is going to pick up 8 yards to make it 2nd and 2 now for Toledo, as they look to get a little bit of offense going.
Yeah, Dallas Gregory with the strongman run right there, picking up 8 yards on the last one.
Hand it back off to Dallas Gregory for the 5 yards to pick up the first down. And 69 yards here for Dallas Gregory on 13 carries. He is having a night here tonight.
Yeah, he's still under his totals that he put up last week. They haven't been feeding him the ball as much. Now they're starting to, and he's taking advantage of it.
Another 5 yards for Dallas Gregory to get him up to 74. He had 123 last week. And you got to think, with the momentum they're having to run the ball, he should be able to beat that.
He can, but the issue right now is the clock is working against him. Sooner or later, Toledo's going to get in a position where they can't afford to run the ball anymore.
They're going to hand it off to Adam Fuller, who's going to pick up 9 yards.
Yeah, this is a good job of staying on the ground, doing what Toledo can do best. They're going to take these runs and hit you for 3 yards, hit you for 8 yards, hit you for 9 yards until they can break a big one out.
Tanner Jones tried to set up the triple option. Michigan wasn't having any of it, though, as McGuire is going to pick up his 14th sack of the night, or 14th tackle of the night.
Yeah, and once again, McGuire is making his presence known, playing all over the field for this Michigan defense.
Toledo taking the snap. They're going to hand it to their big man, Dallas Gregory. He's going to bulldoze his way up for a 7-yard gain. Really, that's where Toledo has found the most success, running the ball, letting Dallas Gregory run down the middle of the field. They just haven't had the opportunity to do it a lot.
Yeah, they've been in a lot of 3rd and long situations here tonight, which has limited that ability.
Tanner Jones over the middle is going to pick up the first down to Trevor Parr, who's going to get the 8-yard reception.
Yeah, it was a good job by Jones recognizing the coverage, hitting his crossing receiver, albeit in a tight window. The receiver was able to make the catch, pick up the first down.
Sends a man in motion. They are going to do the straight handoff to the receiver. That is Trevor Parr, who's going to pick up the 7-yard run.
Yeah, he just had the reception on the last play for the first down. Now he gets involved in the running game on the jet sweep, picks up 7 yards, and Toledo is quietly putting together a strong drive here.
Into the pistol set they will go, running the read option. Tanner Jones stuffed in the backfield, as it will now be 3rd and 6 for Toledo. He really had nowhere to go on that play.
No, not at all. They were all over that, running a spy on the quarterback. Defensive end was able to immediately go after Tanner Jones and stop that before it really got started.
So 3rd and 6 now for Toledo. Tanner Jones takes a quick shotgun snap. He's going to find a man down the field. That looked like it was Richard Miles, who's going to pick up the 12-yard first down.
Yeah, and it was a nice quick throw, something that Michigan wasn't expecting. They're starting to load the box because of how much that Toledo's running, and now some of these outside passing lanes might be a bit more open.
Into the read option they go again. Tanner Jones busting a 7-yard carry. Nice run there by Jones as they make it 2nd and 3 now, but that clock is starting to chip away.
Yeah, sooner or later, like I said, Toledo's not going to be able to run, so they either have to score quickly or they have to start going to the air here.
2nd and 3, they will hand it off to, that was Adam Fuller, who's going to pick up the 4 yards to make it first down. 4 minutes left in this game, down by 9. They've got to get the quick touchdown here to try to get the ball back and have some time to score again.
Yeah, the touchdown would be the best result here for Toledo.
So they're going to hand it back off to Adam Fuller for another 5 yards to make it 2nd and 5. But once again, that time still chipping away as we're at 3 minutes, 40 seconds and counting. 2nd and 5 for Toledo. They're going to come back out in the pistol set. And they will do another straight handoff. This one's going to be stopped right away. Dallas Gregory with the 2-yard loss.
Yeah, once again, they're trying to run so much that Michigan is recognizing it. They're loading the box, and they're not allowing these run lanes to open up. And now if you're Toledo, you're pretty much running clock off at this point.
For 3rd and 6, they got to pick up the first down here. Tanner Jones just throws it out of the back of the end zone. And while they didn't get the first down, they are going to go for it here on 4th and 6. I'm starting to question this because if they've kicked the field goal, they're still 1 score away. Yeah,
this is very questionable right here.
Tanner Jones, tons of pressure, throws it into coverage. That's going to be a turnover on downs for Toledo. Michigan is going to take over with 3 minutes to go and 2 scores ahead.
Yeah, and if Toledo gets the ball back here before the end of the game, everybody's going to be asking about this play in particular later on tonight. Why was the decision made to go for it when, like you said, you could have kicked 3 and made it a 6-point game?
21-12. Michigan wants to chew away at that clock. Expect Connor Darien to get the ball, and they are going to do a straight handoff to him as he's going to pick up 7 yards.
Yeah, and Connor Darien, he's a 5-star running back for a reason. This is where he thrives. You put the ball in his hands to end the game, and he's going to do some damage. Michigan's trusting him to seal the deal here tonight.
And we just saw what Michigan's offense was doing. 42 passes to 16 runs. Expect those running numbers to go up as Connor Darien gets a 2-yard carry to make it 3rd and 1.
And what I really like so far is Toledo hasn't called the timeout. Even though the clock is running, 3rd and 1 situation, had you burned those 2 timeouts, a first down would essentially ice the game. Now they have another chance if Michigan does pick this up.
And if they stop him here, they still can try to get a quick score. They still have all 3 timeouts in their pockets to try to get the stop on defense once again.
Yeah, and again, so saving those timeouts is huge. But again, you can't excuse the coaching decision on the last drive. Go for it.
Michigan going to hand it off the middle. They will get the first down. Connor Darien with a 3-yard carry. And that is the dagger for Toledo, as Michigan pretty much ices this game away.
Yeah, at this point, there's going to have to be a lot of things to go right.
So another first down here for Michigan. Thank you for everyone who's checked out this great game here tonight. Taking a look at chat, we got Corey Dobbins, E.T. Wizzle, You Can Do It 24, Sean Moore, Juby's in chat there, as Connor Darien going to get stopped for the 3-yard loss that time. But really, Michigan can just run the clock after this play.
Yeah, after this one, the clock keeps running. There's nothing Toledo can do about it to stop it. All they got to do is take a knee, and this one's over.
And we have a big score update over in the North Dakota NIU game. North Dakota now up 51-0 midway through the 4th quarter. What a blowout Notre Dame is putting on.
Yeah, that one's going to be a fun one to check out. Watch the highlights later on. Notre Dame really showing that their defense is a force to be reckoned with.
Now Michigan's just going to run this clock down as much as they can here on 3rd and 11. It'll be under a minute when they snap the ball.
Yeah, and if Toledo can get the stop here, they can get the ball back with about 20 seconds. They're not going to have much time to do anything left after that.
Well, the difference between the play clock and the game clock is 10 seconds. So really, they're only going to have 1 shot downfield. And this one's pretty much over.
I've seen some crazy things in college football. But it would be something on a whole nother level if Toledo could maybe make a punt return touchdown here or something of that nature.
They are going to drain it down to probably about 11 seconds before they decide to snap this one and punt it away to Toledo. I'd expect Toledo to have maybe 8 seconds, 7 seconds when all said and done. So they will get the ball with 7 seconds as Adam Fuller looks to bust his way up the middle. He's going to get to the 40-yard line. They got 1 play left with 4 seconds. Yeah,
and what you're going to see here is it's just going to be a Hail Mary to the end zone most likely. Or Toledo could decide to come out and run the ball and just run the clock off.
And if I said North Dakota, I meant Notre Dame. And that will end it. Number 13, Michigan will get the win here tonight, 21-12 over Toledo. And really, this game was highlighted by the defenses. Not a whole lot of offensive action by either team.
Yeah, this defense, especially what impressed me most was Michigan. Facing their former quarterback, Tanner Jones, they held him to under 100 yards passing. He did have his ground game working, but that passing game was pretty much non-existent here tonight for Toledo.
As now Toledo will get ready to go to MAC action as they wrap up their non-conference schedule and look to try to make a name for themselves in MAC play. Michigan, on the other hand, they have got the gauntlet ahead of them.